Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Jack Hawthorne's Cedar Lake Zoo. Uh, as you might be able to tell, quite a lot has happened in the zoo since the last time we've been here. Um, well, you'll see. But today we're going to focus on the insectarium. So the insectarium is a building that I had been working on for a long time. If you've been following Cedar Lake since the beginning, you'll know that there was some form of an insectarium even back then, but I didn't show you the inside, and then I scrapped a ton of it and started fresh. And I'm really happy with how this whole building came out. So you can already kind of see the butterfly house from here, which is part of the insectarium. But this is the Nakajima Insectarium. I built this facade here just to kind of make it look a bit more modern, but still have a classy feel to it. I used Mappy's roof that I've used in a couple places in the zoo already, just because I love this so much, and I cannot understand how to make the shapes that he was able to make with this. It just is kind of beyond me for whatever reason. But let's go ahead and take a look inside. So here we are inside the insect house. I really love how this place turned out. I really wanted to make it feel like you were the size of a bug. And so I made these art-shaped grass pieces. I made it all look like dirt using the faux rock pack with some little roots coming down. And I'm just super pleased with how this came out, especially a part that we'll get to later down the line. So first up, we've got a couple of the insectariums here, the insect terrariums. This is rhinoceros beetle, and then Hercules beetle, and then giant stag beetle. And I like how simple these enclosures are. I didn't want anything too much for them. Then over on the wall here in these little bubbles, these were pretty difficult to make, but I feel like they turned out well enough. We have Emperor Scorpion, Banana Slug, and Giant White Knee Tarantula. I tried so hard to find something that would do the webs well, but basically the Oceanian netting was the best that I could find. Going down a little bit more, we have an orchid mantis in here with lovely flowers to show off their camouflage. We have a Brazilian salmon pink tarantula, one of our base game tarantulas, and then a Guatemalan tiger rump tarantula. A lot of the bugs that are in this house I've actually never seen, or some of them I haven't even heard of before I started building this house. But over here we have your just average walking stick insects, but I really like how this exhibit turned out. It's one of the bigger ones in this whole building, but I thought that it was really cool to make it more vertical like that. And here we get into some of the part that I loved building so much. The kind of backyard section is all inside of a cardboard box. First, we've got a praying mantis over here and a African giant tiger land snail. But in here, we've got a couple terrariums that I think are super cute. And this whole thing was built out of the cardboard boxes from the base game India theme. And I think that it just was really funny how this was able to turn out, especially using the 3D printed texture from the the conservation pack. I think that it turned out better than I could have expected. I used some marquee drapery here for the look of like duct tape. But anyway, to the exhibits, we've got giant water bug in here. And then brown recluse, which is supposed to be like right outside the window of an actual house. I think that this was a really fun one to build. even though it's very simple. We've got a black widow one here that's kind of supposed to be out in somebody's yard. And then for this one, this would be a fruit fly exhibit, which I thought was mostly just funny. But I took a blueprint I saw in the workshop of just like a average house kitchen and was thinking this would be perfect for something like a fruit fly, just to kind of bring something that people wouldn't really expect to find in a zoo. And then in here is a ladybug exhibit with a watering can as like kind of the main feature in here. But then we get into the biggest presentation of arthropods in this insectarium. This hall is highly based off of San Diego's Wildlife Explorers Base Camp. Sorry. Right in the center, I have Leaf and Nick's coconut crab, which I just think is hilarious and terrifying all at the same time. But let's take a look at a lot of the exhibits that we've got all around here, because there's quite a few of them. So this is, was this Goliath or Titan beetle? I can't remember. Come on. There we go. Goliath beetle. That's what I thought, but I second guessed myself. And then this is Amazonian giant centipede. Got an exhibit for dragon-headed katydid, a species that I've heard of mainly through watching tours of base camp, and then also I think Cincinnati Zoo has them too. And they're a really cool looking bug. This exhibit is for thorny devil stick insect and jewel beetle. Don't have a prop for them in game. This was jungle nymph. Oh, I thought it was jungle nymph. It's Malayan giant leaf insect. Whoops, my bad. And then Goliath bird eater. Sometimes I think until you put them in like a regular sized terrarium instead of the exhibit box, you don't realize how big some of these things are. But looking at this now, it's like, yeah, that could totally eat a bird. And then a Madagascar hissing cockroach exhibit. A staple of any self-respecting zoo. Over here we have some education on pollination and a honeybee exhibit. I found this hive on the workshop, and I think it's hilarious. It's made of bamboo, but I was able to kind of set that up as the wall with all of the European honeybees kind of flitting around in there. This exhibit is for Transvaal flat-tailed scorpion from Africa, and then giraffe stag beetle. This exhibit is for peacock tarantula, and then jade-headed buffalo beetle. And this exhibit was for emerald ash borer. And here is Mexican red knee tarantula. This exhibit is for blue death feigning beetle. And then, you know, to add some realism, of course, there's an empty exhibit. And then the African giant millipede. So we'll turn the daytime back on and get into the next part. You would have to wait your turn to get in here, but then you would come through into the butterfly house. Got some small terrariums around here that I completely blanked out on what was in these, because I made these terrariums probably about it was definitely in 2023. But around here we just have some lovely butterfly garden aesthetic. There's some. Got lots of different species in here. I think I wrote down and had, it was 11 different kinds of butterfly in here. I'll try to put that on the video. A list of all the butterflies that would be in here if we had all of those in game. But I really love the aesthetic of just like the kind of shrunken down Honey, I Shrunk the Kids kind of vibe of just massive stuff all around. Well, you're this tiny little person in all of it. This is one of my favorite things to just kind of walk around in the zoo right now. It's so simple, but I think it's really effective. And then I know a lot of zoos will sometimes have like a honey eater in an exhibit like this, a type of bird called a honey eater. I think Omaha Zoo had blue-faced, and so that would probably be what I would have in here if I had one. And then pay no attention to the fact that we've just jumped back into a different file, and we will exit here. So that was the insect house, and it pops you right back out on your way to the wilds of Africa or back towards the aquarium, depending what you've been doing in the zoo. And just to kind of give you a little bit of a sneak peek at what's coming next, we have this big weenie here that is from the workshop. If you search St. Louis Zoo sign, you'll find it. This is much larger than the real one, but I thought that it was just so funny to have this as the big weenie of my zoo, where some people have clock towers and other people have like bridges and stuff like that, but I just, you know, you're walking around the zoo here and you'll always know where you are. But eventually, I do think that I'll be making this part down here into a donor wall, just kind of recognizing some of my subscribers and the people who make the different workshop items that appear in my zoo, and people that just generally inspire me in this game. So we'll see how that fills out. You can kind of get an idea of where we're going to be heading next in the next episode here. But this is something that will not be done for quite some time. I recently took a trip to Omaha, and it is my third time there, and I just absolutely love the lead jungle building that they have at the Omaha Zoo. And so one day, far in the future, I will bring you in here, but that is not today. So I'll leave you guys with a look at our new Swan Pond. Thanks for watching, and I hope that you have a great day and that this video could inspire you in some way. See ya!